Joey Diaz can be described as the most loved guest on Joe Rogan show, and that is confirmed by his 60 plus appearances on the show. However, the same experiences that gave him the spotlight might be what takes it away from him for good.
You gotta stick my dick to get up in the belly room. I'll make a call for you. That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this little blonde open mic chick dog that used to come up to the comedy store with.
Now, it's not a weird occurrence for comedians to say provoking things, but there's a level of no return. Somehow, Joey Diaz found the perfect technique of staying on the edge by dropping unforgettable punchlines like the pimp story.
A husband pimps her out. He would have fights on, and for $20 you could her in the back room.
20?
The fights were on, whatever. I don't know. That on Fridays he would bring her to the construction truck. He would bring a truck with her to the construction site and put a mattress in the back. And at lunchtime, he would let her friends, and she's telling me this, it's like she's talking, and people like just holding their breaths, like, what is going on here? This girl is beautiful, and this retard is just pimping her. So in between shows, I go upstairs to do a line or smoke a joint or whatever the fuck I'm doing. When I come back, I see her by herself, and we start talking, and what's going on? Oh my God, I had such a great time. I go, is that stuff true? And she goes, yeah. I go, show me the monkey. And she took me in the woman's bathroom, pulled down her pants. The girl had a monkey that was spotless. It nearly stunk. I ate it. I f***ed some, and then she sucked my d. That was it. I went back to my room. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I scored. I go back for the second show. There's 8 people. But by the time I go back for the second show, Joe Rogan, she's sitting in the back. She's 21, and she's looking at me like this. She's fucked up. And 10 minutes into my spot, set, because I was headlining, she starts going, I sucked the comedian tonight. And her husband's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I sucked this. He came in my mouth. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The cops had to hold him back. And he's like, I want my $40. That's all he wanted. He didn't care that his wife sucked my at this comedy bathroom.
Oh, my God.
When the cops came, he kept saying, man, somebody's going to get hurt if I don't have my $40.
He moved from Cuba when he was 12 years of age, and his dad passed away when he was 4. His mom died as well as a result of an accidental overdose.
I heard her calling me. Jose Antonio. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going downstairs. I'm not hungry. The acid. She's going to see that my eyes are dilated. Fuck it. So she called my name a few more times, and I just played possum. And then I went back to sleep. And then I got up again a little while later, and the hallway light was off. It's safe. Let me go out there and piss. So I went out to my bathroom. I went to piss. When I went to piss, I seen her door was still open. I go, fuck it, let me go downstairs. I heard the water on, like she was washing dishes or some shit. And I walked down the stairs real slowly. And when I went around the kitchen, I looked into the kitchen. I didn't see her by the dishes, but when I looked down, she was on the floor dead. Her arm was purple. And I went over to her and I touched her pulse. And I said, I fucking knew she would never find out I got left back.
He describes his stepfather as an old school gangster in most clips.
He played you like a fiddle. If he had to meet you to talk to you and he wasn't sure about you, if he had to meet you at 9, he'd come here at 6 and plant 2 guns and a knife. So, I mean, this guy was a genius. He was a fucking genius.
His upbringing made him pivot more to the crime life that he currently narrates to his audience.
On Saturday, on the tooth that the dentist fixed that morning before I kidnapped him, because I had a dental appointment that morning. The dentist even said, I go, last time I worked on this tooth was November 18th, 87. He's like, that's interesting. How did you remember that? I go, that's the day I kidnapped the guy. Steve got so greedy, he fucked it up. At the intro, he pulled out the guns.
Wow.
The deal was, let's get everything going. When you go back to get the coke, that's when you rob us both.
Yeah.
That's when I pull it
You're
down.
innocent.
Even if you're with him, I'm going to rob you. I'm going to smack you.
Yeah.
Just so he'll never say, well, how did he know? So when I walked in there, he pulled guns on both of us. And then he pulls the gun out and goes, Joey, tie him up. And I'm like, you stupid mother. I was bum rushed. All I heard was, I had cops all over me. Get on the floor, get on the floor, get on the floor. You're being charged with kidnapping 1, kidnapping 2, aggravated robbery, accessory to a felony, 2nd-degree burglary, and fucking crime of violence.
While serving his sentence, he would sharpen his comedy skills by performing to other inmates whenever he got the chance. Despite Joey improving, he still wasn't good enough and often performed to small crowds.
America's fucking beautiful, man. Where else can a felon with 2 strikes? I got 2 strikes. My next strike is life. right? They give you like 20 years if you have 3 strikes. I told him, suck my dick. Even when the feds were looking for me in 99 for that gun, I wasn't copping. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, man. I'm not doing it. This is the path I'm taking. I don't know what, and I never got in trouble again, Joe.
When he came out from jail, he would struggle with these insecurities, for instance, his plus size.
418, 420. My wife was tying my shoelaces. You know how embarrassing that is?
Wow.
You know how embarrassing that is, looking back at it now? People coming to visit you in jail. That's bullshit life, man.
Yeah.
His love for comedy would later on outweigh his addiction, giving him a ticket out of misery. In the 90s, he went fully into comedy and would meet the one man that would later on transform his life forever. Approximately 2 decades later, he would release his own comedy special that, in collaboration with his podcast appearances, would blow his career up. He got his first divorce in 91 and lost touch with his daughter. Behind the scenes, his podcast was doing really good, and so was the quality of his life. With his life turned around, he would follow Joe Rogan's blueprint in giving back to the community. Joey would market any comedian he came across and in the process revive stand-up comedy. There is only one problem that is better shown than said.
You think I'm fucking kidding you? Fuck yeah, you gotta sit my dick to get up in the belly room. I'll make a call for you. That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this little blonde open mic chick dog that used to come up to the Comedy Store with a 20 and just take me up to the belly room and suck my dick and go do her set. She was tremendous.
Wow.
She finally freaked out. When she got to Hollywood, bro, she was beautiful. And when she left, she had dirty fucking, her nails were dirty. And then a year later, she wrote me a letter to the Comedy Store. You sucker, you broke me. I kept shooting sperm balls in her fucking ear ball. Every time she went down, vaya pa la pinga.
He said that in his second appearance on the Joe Rogan show, and the clip was swept under the radar until now. In the clip, he says that one female was sobbing with regret after leaving Hollywood and would voice her distaste at Joey Diaz. Unfortunately, things keep getting messier for Joey Diaz with every confession that he makes. With his comedy style relying solely on such predatory stories, he would expose himself clip after clip. His view on the Harvey Weinstein situation made things much clearer. Joe Rogan would question him on why Harvey Weinstein would do what he did, to which he replied drawing from his own knowledge.
Harvey Weinstein's going to go throw more money to pay off time. Harvey's going to go for time. Then he's going to fire Benjamin Braff and show up with 2 women, primarily 1 black and 1 Asian, or 1 white and 1 Asian. And this is when this trial is going to get very interesting.
How do you know he's going to do all this stuff?
Because I know this is what I would do. Did you ever really watch The People versus O.J. Simpson?
No, I didn't.
Very interesting.
Some can see it as a bit hypocritical that Joe Rogan sides with Joey even when he distates the likes of O.J. Simpson.
Right. I mean, he apparently was behaving like that for decades.
So you're telling me nobody knew?
They knew. They all knew. That's what's crazy is it's worked into his fucking contract.
It's amazing.
It's
But you know what else?
They're all complicit. And there's a thing called diffusion of responsibility, where there's too many people involved. You don't feel like you're responsible. You don't feel like that's what, when they say it's easier to assault someone in front of 100 people than it is to assault someone in front of 1 person. Because 1 person might step in and stop it, but 100 people will sit around and go, someone's got to stop this.
Gotcha.
I think, from what I understand,
I don't think he needed to do this. I think it's his ego, and
I think that's too.
Like Bill Cosby was the same thing.
Yes. It becomes a pathology, and I think there's also a thing about power.
That's the fucking gateway into coming to Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
How many girls did you have do that?
Oh, 20 of them. I had this